it was really interesting. I had a friend who owned an accounting firm, and I said to him, Tim, I'm about to start studying accounting. I'm going to become Australia's most impactful accountant one day, but I'd love the opportunity to come and work for you, learn from you, do whatever you want. He's like, oh, thanks, Harvey, I appreciate it, but I don't really need anyone right now. I'm like, oh, okay, cool. And ended up bugging him for the next 3 months. Email, text, phone call, social, randomly appeared at the local coffee shop where I knew he was, and just kept on pounding him and say, look, is the opportunity there? And in the end, I said to him, Tim, hey, congratulations, you've got a new guy starting on Monday. You don't have to pay him, I was referring to myself, you don't have to pay him a cent until he brings value into your business, but he's going to come, let us know what time he needs to be there, and you can do with him whatever will. He'll wash dishes, he'll clean your car, or he'll do some sort of accounting work. And so that's how I got my first job.
And people don't do this. And I know so many people, they just sit there like, I can't get a job. It's like, well, what have you done? They've filled out a few applications. That's not enough. Yeah, like you can do this. And Gary talks about like DMing like 50 people a day and trying to get into, just because someone's eventually going to respond. And then you can get your foot in the door. And I talk about that a lot, just getting your foot in the door is huge, because then you get your foot into another door, and another door, and another door, and another door, and so on. But the other good point I like that you made, and I wish I did this, is you wanted to start an accounting agency or accounting firm, but before you did that, you went to work for an accountant. So I would say to anyone out there who wants to start a business, the best thing you can do is go work in the same industry and learn their systems, their processes, and how it works. Because that was something that hit me like a truck when I started my marketing agency. I hadn't done that, and so I was figuring it all out for myself. I was trying to learn online and stuff. It worked out, but it was quite messy at the beginning.
Yeah, well, that was the best thing I learned about becoming a tradie, is that how do you become any sort of trade, a carpenter or a electrician or a sparky or a plumber, you start with an apprenticeship. And the apprenticeship, you start doing the low level work, and then eventually you build and grow. And in business, we don't really have an example of an apprenticeship. Hey, it doesn't exist. You're either in business or you're not. And when you're in business, you're either failing or you're succeeding. And so,
failing.
Yeah, exactly. So any chance that we can get to kind of wing somebody or to shadow them or be their little co-pilot, I really learned. I'm so grateful to Tim. I learned so much from him about life, about business, and about running a successful accounting firm, which gave me the real world experience and that success to come across and build something for myself eventually. But here we are, sort of 10 years of learning, growing, doing an apprenticeship, real world experience before I come into Inspire, which was my real major first super successful business.
Yeah, awesome. So it sounds like when you were younger, you took a lot of risks, right? Like starting a business. And I think that's like the best time to take risks is when you're young, you're living at home. So if you fail, like you just go home. Like sure, you might lose some money, stuff happens, but really you're not gonna be on the street. And so versus people who have families to look after, like right now my responsibilities are so low compared to what they will be in probably 10 or 15 years. So I think it's the best time to take risks. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think when we're young we need to risk it all, which realistically is probably nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
And which is an amazing sort of place of freedom. I think some of the issues that we have these days in this sort of social media world is that we're so caught up with our perception and our image of what people think about the phone that we have, the watch that we have, the car we drive, and that what would it feel like if I had to move back to mum and dad's place? I went back to mum and dad's 5 times, even most recently when I first bought Inspire 3-4 years ago. But you just have to kind of eat that humble pie, and unfortunately not many people are willing to do that, and therefore...
Well, people don't want to take risks because they want to... If they take a year off to do something, that means all their friends are now in first year uni, which means if they start uni next year, they're going to be first year and their friends are going to be second year, and they're going to be a year behind. But really that doesn't matter. Like what's the difference between graduating at 23 or 22? It's basically nothing. So yeah, I definitely think taking risks is something you should be doing while you're young. Don't play it safe and then want to take a risk when you're 35 and you've got a newborn on the way or something.
Absolutely.